Hey Raiders! Today is February 12th, 2021. Welcome back to Rio TV. In this episode, we'll be looking at some documentaries produced by Video Production for a contest called the SEVAs. The SEVAs is a county-wide video contest featuring schools all over Sacramento. Also, happy early Valentine's Day! Enjoy the episode. Hey Raiders! My name is Jenna Shepard, and I made a documentary on mental health in the digital age.
How many hours a day do you spend on your phone? If you're an American adult, chances are you spend around 3.5 hours on your phone every day. Not bad, but it's nothing compared to teenagers.
My average screen time is like 8 or 9 hours a day.
This week, it's 4 hours and 30 minutes is my average for the daily.
Probably like 4 to 6 hours.
Average of 7 to 8.
Probably around 4 to 5 hours.
I am literally always on it. I think it's like 18 hours a day.
The average teenager spends about 7.5 hours on their phone every day. But why?
Mainly, it's just interacting with sites that I enjoy, so a lot of like YouTube or like listening to music.
Majority of the time is TikTok. If it's not TikTok, I'm usually watching anime.
It's like I use it to talk to people or for art references.
Is connecting with friends, listening to music, and creating art really all that bad? According to some adults, absolutely. There are hundreds of articles about how too much phone time rots your brain, how violent video games corrupt your mind, and more. These people assume that the issue is phones themselves. However, this situation is more complicated. It's not just the phone. The problem is social media.
I usually use TikTok the most.
Snapchat.
I watch YouTube a lot.
Instagram.
Twitter, probably.
I was on Tumblr for a little while.
90% of teenagers have used social media. It's how teens connect. Social media can be used for positive activities. It's fantastic that teens have easy access to social interaction with their peers, especially during quarantine when they don't have the option of going to school. However, statistics show that social media does more harm than good. On all social media sites, there's an overwhelming urge to be popular and fit in. Apps like Instagram and Twitter run on likes and comments.
Like Instagram, you get likes if people, approve of whatever you're posting. And I think a lot of people find validation through that.
It's human nature to seek approval from others. Let's take a look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, an idea in psychology proposed by Abraham Maslow. This theory describes human motivation. Simply put, what drives us? The first two layers of the pyramid describe our basic needs: food, water, warmth, shelter, then security and safety. Just above that, we have belonging. Humans want to fit in and be approved of. According to Maslow, humans seek validation from social groups. In the absence of this love and validation, people can become lonely, withdrawn, and depressed. It's human nature to belong. Social media apps use this to their advantage. The like button exists to seek approval from others. According to a study conducted by UCLA researchers, teens receive large amounts of dopamine whenever they see more likes on their pictures. It's similar to eating chocolate or winning money. However, when teens receive less likes, they feel more strongly rejected and report more negative effects and more negative thoughts about themselves. In a study conducted by researchers at the University of Texas at Austin, a team simulated social media interactions with students. The study found that receiving less likes actually lowered the students' self-esteem. A second study using the same experimental task found that teens with the strongest negative reaction to receiving less likes were also more likely to experience symptoms of depression. As well as that, the pressure to receive likes and be liked can lead to insecurity online. And a big part of that has to do with body image.
I don't wear what a lot of people seem to deem as like, this is pretty. Or I don't seem to like have the body type that people seem are pretty. And it's like,
It kind of, I guess, when I was younger, would encourage me to dress like more normal. It's lame that my high school years just weren't good because I was so unhappy with myself outwardly, and I was so obsessed with that and trying to make myself look better that I let my studies fail. I would see my classmates Instagrams because I would just try to dress like them because I wanted them to like me, but at the same time I also didn't want to get bullied.
Often, the most liked photos and most popular accounts are ones featuring attractive people, celebrities like Kim Kardashian or Kylie Jenner. Unfortunately, the urge to be liked, that third level on the Maslow hierarchy of needs, fuels teens' desire to be just like these celebrity idols that get millions of likes. If people like them because of their body, then naturally teens want to look just like them. In fact, 88% of women say that they compare themselves to images in the media, while 65% of men report the same thing.
You can't really help but like compare yourself to these people, you know?
Like I would like look at girls and I'd be like, wow, like if only I look like them, or I was tall like them or skinny like them and all that stuff.
You may feel confident, but if you go and see somebody and you compare yourself to them, that immediately kind of takes down your confidence.
However, social media is flooded with unreasonable standards. In the digital age, it's easier than ever to edit selfies using Photoshop or other apps. You can cover up blemishes, change your body shape, and more. Nearly 2/3 of Americans say that they edit photos before they post them. This can lead to disastrous consequences. According to Nia Chaudhry, a child and adolescent psychiatrist at Massachusetts General Hospital and Harvard Medical School, people end up creating unrealistic ideals for themselves based on what they see, and feel distressed when they aren't able to meet those ideas or self-expectations. This distress has been proven to manifest itself in the form of decreased self-esteem and poorer body image. Even worse, studies have shown that there's a link between social media use and the development of mental illness. Between 2009 and 2017, rates of depression among teens ages 14 to 17 increased by more than 60%. Rates of suicidal thoughts, plans, and attempts all increased significantly, and in some cases, more than doubled. This trend cannot continue. We need to do something. But is there a solution?
Personally, I think the solution for social media would be to eliminate the things that make people want to download social media in the first place. So the likes, the views, the comments.
There's obviously never going to be like a perfect world where everybody is happy, but I think that I know like I've seen a lot of like body positivity trends and like people just being unapologetically themselves, and I think just more stuff like that where it's like you see someone and you're like, wow, that's really cool, and then you know like you can kind of follow them and like just be yourself more. And I think that the more people that start to show like these little flaws, that I think that'll make it a little bit of a better place.
The one that may first come to mind is banning social media.
Social media kind of creates that dependency, and so if you really want to be happy and really like be in a good place, you're gonna like have to commit and delete it. And I mean that's really hard, but like at the end of the day, like if you want to be happy, like you have to delete it, which is hard.
However, getting rid of it altogether isn't the solution. As mentioned before, social media is a genuinely good tool for teens to connect, especially during the pandemic with no in-person school.
On one hand, I think definitely like if everybody got rid of it, I think it would be great, but I just know that that's not realistic, and that it's just better to focus on like the good that can come out of it, and like just trying to make the internet like less of a toxic place to be.
We're already so accustomed to the profiles that we build in our life and how extensively we use social media that there wouldn't be a way for us to just get rid of it, because nobody would want that.
But clearly, something does need to change. Remember Maslow's hierarchy and the negative consequences of not being liked? Some apps are actively trying to find a solution to this issue. For example, Instagram is experimenting with removing likes on their posts. Users will still be able to like pictures, but the like count will be removed from public view. It's too early to see if this is helpful to the mental health of users, but it's fantastic to see companies attempting to solve this issue. The problem of unreasonable standards, however, is something more complex. The root issue isn't just perpetuated by social media. Before social media, TV and magazines pushed unrealistic bodies as well. This, too, leads to body dissatisfaction. As mentioned earlier, the consequences that result from this can include decreased self-esteem, depression, self-harm, and suicide. Did you know that more than 70% of people with mental health issues do not receive any kind of treatment or care? Almost 20% of high school students experience suicidal thoughts. Depressed teens are more than twice as likely to drop out of high school. There are extreme consequences for this mental health epidemic. They need treatment. According to a study by EAB, students are far more likely to seek treatment for mental health issues at school rather than a clinic. It is essential that we focus our efforts on making mental health treatment accessible. Schools are the best place for that. Referring to the report, schools are often under-resourced and underprepared to give students the treatment that they need. During an interview with the website Education Week, EAB Managing Director Pete Talbot said that, "We have a mental health provider shortage in this country. Schools have been thrust into this position, but they're not really resourced. In many respects, it's an unfunded mandate. The report shows that schools are failing at the following. 1. Identifying students with mental health issues early. 2. Taking advantage of partnerships with external providers. 3. Adequately reintegrating students back into the classroom after they have had a mental health-related leave of absence. 4. Combating the stigma of mental health. Much of mental health treatment is prevention. Reacting to students only after they are in a mental health crisis isn't good for the student or the teacher. Instead, schools should identify students early on and connect them with the treatment they need. In order to do this, schools should create early warning systems that help school staff identify students in need. They should have plans to help integrate students back into school after a mental health crisis. Finally, in order to combat the stigma, schools should have ongoing mental health awareness campaigns throughout the year. With these solutions, teens have the potential to avoid disastrous mental health consequences while still utilizing social media for good.
Now I don't care what other people think of me. I realized that literally 2 years ago, I think I finally was like, wow, it doesn't matter actually. Wow, it really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter how many likes you get or how many followers you have. I learned now that everyone is beautiful in their own unique way. Yeah, sure, she might be tall and skinny, but I'm me and I'm not her and she's her.
If you struggle with mental health or your body image, there are so many online resources to help. The National Suicide Hotline number is 1-800-273-8255. You can call for crisis counseling and immediate help. Text HELLO to 741-741 for the Crisis Text Hotline, which connects you with a crisis counselor who can provide support and information over text. Also, the National Alliance on Mental Illness is the largest nationwide mental health advocacy group with hundreds of state organizations, affiliates, and volunteers. There, you can find support groups, free education, awareness, and community.
Hello, I'm Raneem, and I made a documentary about how I went 21 days without social media. I hope you enjoy and happy Valentine's Day. The only way to connect with the outside world is through social media. The fear of missing out. FOMO, one of the greatest reasons as to why we endlessly scroll through social media. And I've been having this really huge urge to just cut it all out. That includes Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, you name it. However, I will be making an exception for videos that are on YouTube because that's what I mainly use for school videos and workout videos. Other entertainment videos are completely eliminated. I hope that I will be able to. My prior look at others doing the same challenge gave me these expectations. The first week I will be anxious, reaching for my phone often. I will be busy condensing activities in my day but become bored as time goes on. I will be able to sleep more. I will be making small changes in my diet. I will work out almost every day, and I will become more focused in school. So was I completely wrong, or did I hit the nail on the head? Feeling anxious. But it was not all pretty. I had my doubts. It's like one side of my brain is telling me it's just withdrawal signs because it's addicting, so you're obviously naturally going to feel this way. But another side of my brain, it's like, what if someone texted you and you're not answering them right now? I started tracking how I felt 3 times a day, the amount of hours that I slept, how many hours I exercised, and writing my thoughts down. The first week was mixed. I didn't reach for my phone as often as I thought I would, but that was because the fact that I had deleted social media never left my mind. It was all that I thought about. Eating became all about the food itself. not about the perfect show to watch while eating. I started taking more time to spend with the people that are around me. And weirdly, chores were becoming an activity that I no longer dreaded. Almost fun. Almost. The second week hit pretty hard. I would say it was the time when my emotions really peaked and when I started allowing myself to finally sit down and think. Today started off fine. We were doing great. We were doing awesome. We were doing our little thing. And then as, the night rolled through, I started feeling a little bit more anxious. And I don't know why. Today, I am in immense pain. I can do the chemistry test. I just don't know if I can work out. I got a 16 out of 14 on my chemistry quiz, and I would just like to pause for a moment and say that I was so focused on the fact that I lost 4 points that I said the quiz was out of 14 instead of 20. But I do realize that this is not a terrible grade. I am a perfectionist and I have really high expectations for myself, and that is something that I need to work on. This is one of those moments where I had to confront those feelings. I honestly don't know why or how, because I was sure of my answers. This is one of those moments where I have to distance myself from my grade because I know it doesn't represent me. It's just a stupid number. And I have to move on and do better next time because that's all I can do. How am I feeling right now? I feel like I need to get headphones, blast them on the highest possible volume, play a song, and just lie down. Yeah. Week 3 was by far my best week. It was when I started noticing those little things that I wouldn't usually notice, and things started turning around. Just like these turnips. Aha. Get it? Turn it. Okay. My parents asked me to cut some vegetables, so let's get started. It's so pretty. It shows as magenta, but really in real life, it's purple, not pink. My parents like to cut it up and into squares and make it into they boil it and make it into a soup. Personally, I don't like the taste. I think it tastes too bland and I would rather eat something else. The texture is sort of, when you boil it, sort of similar to potatoes. A potato is a bit more stiff, but I think a lot of people will like it. During week 3, I also decided to make some banana bread because why not? Okay, so here we are, day 21. What is the conclusion? So I didn't exactly hit the nail on the head. I more so tried to hit it, missed, and then tried again until I hit it. Week 1 was me trying to compensate for the fact that I didn't have any distractions, and so that's why my withdrawals hit on week 2 instead, which was when I ran out of things to do. It was uncomfortable, yes, but did my issues get resolved quicker because I forced myself to sit down and think about them? Yes. Week 2 was also when I allowed myself to watch Netflix. Moment of weakness, I know, but it only decreased my productivity by a little bit, not as much as raw social media would have. So that was when I realized, balance. We should have balance. What an idea. Who would have thought? And so that was all that week 3 was about, me trying to balance everything out. I put things into 5 categories: workouts, health and diet, mental health, sleep, and focus in school. Now that I didn't have an excuse to procrastinate, I just worked out. I didn't work out every single day, but it was more than usual for me. I used to do it only for school assignments, and now I do it on my own free time. During week 3 was also when I decided to start running. I decided to put the stress and shakiness that I was getting into something that was more useful, which was running, so that my body was too tired to feel anxious. I worked out a total of 483 minutes, which I know is not a lot, but it was more than usual for me. Okay, so health and diet. My goal wasn't to gain muscle, wasn't to eat healthier, wasn't to lose weight or tone up. I didn't have any goal when it came to my meals. My initial weight was around 140 pounds, and by the end, which was today, I weighed at around 136 pounds. I lost weight because, well, yeah, I was working out, but I also subconsciously made healthier decisions. And by that, I mean just the little things, like tiniest changes of, for example, when you go out to order a coffee and you get almond milk instead of regular milk. It was tiny, it was barely noticeable, but it did make a difference. Okay, so mental health. I recorded how I felt 3 times a day, 8 a.m., 3:15 p.m., and 8 p.m. on a scale of 1 being really bad and 10 being, oh my god, I could not feel any better than this. During the beginning, I was feeling a little bit low, and you can see the ups and downs starting to happen at around week 2. And then towards the end, I rarely had any bad days. It was all 6 and above. Seems as though I felt better during the day, which was around 3:15, rather than when I was cranky in the morning or when I was really tired at night. I also journaled a lot. I didn't force myself to sit down every day and write. I just wrote whenever I felt like it so that it was more genuine. Okay, sleep. I recorded how many hours I slept every single day. 6 hours or less that I used to get, I now get 8 hours or more of sleep every single day. I didn't feel the need for so much coffee to shock me awake because I was already going to bed early at around 9, 10, or 11. So focus in school. I started completing my assignments a little bit earlier than I used to. I used to start my assignments at like 11:30 p.m. and then end them at like 11:58. I was racing with time. I still hate math, so that did not change. But instead of going on my phone during class, I was being forced to listen now. And I was being forced to take notes, and I did find out that if you actually listen and if you actually focus, time will go by faster. Pro tip. Okay, so I'm not here to tell you to cut social media permanently. It does have its benefits. However, I do challenge you to cut it out for 21 days. Why 21 days? Because it takes 21 days to form a habit. Oh, but I can't. I want to connect to people. Oh, but what about my business? Oh my god, but I want to connect with my grandmother. Your brain will make excuses for anything. Just do it. If I could give one tip, it would be to turn your notifications off. You have no idea the amount of times that I was in a state of flow when working, and then I got disrupted by a notification, and of course I opened it, and there goes the rest of my day. This was my journey. I hope it inspired you in some way. I do challenge you to cut social media for 21 days. Try it. What are you gonna lose? You're not gonna lose anything, I promise. If you're wondering, am I going to download social media now that it is over? I don't really have the urge to re-download them back. I don't feel the need to do so, so most likely I will not. I have confidence now in myself and my actions, and I like it. 21 days ago, I would not have been able to say all of that. That felt good to say.
What's up? It's me again. Got another video. It's about vinyl records this time. Well, hope you enjoy it. This is a dog. Dogs are incredibly popular and will probably stay that way. You could say it's timeless. This is a cat. Just like dogs, they're super popular. You could also say that they're timeless. Now this is a record. They were a way to play music from about 100 years ago. Used to use a gramophone for one of these bad boys. Unlike cats and dogs, records went out of style when things like cassettes and CDs came out, and eventually digital platforms. But records shot up in popularity in the last few years. Why was that? Don't get me wrong, I have a few records at my home. Okay, well, more of them are my parents, but I've gotten a few myself. Whether it be from music artists, TV series, anime, or video games, everyone seems to be producing, buying, or selling them now. But why?
I think it's come to popularity recently because of social media and its way of expressing yourself through the different types of album art.
When I was growing up, that's all they had, so I'm kind of attached to it, kind of a nostalgic way. I think they're come back like stuff does. It goes full circle and then goes back around again. And don't know how long it's going to stay, but yeah, it's kind of fun. It's just fun.
And that's all it seems to be, really. It's just fun. I don't think you need some insanely in-depth reason as to why it's gone up in popularity. All you really need is it to be fun for you. If you enjoy it, then who's stopping you from collecting it, or buying it, listening to it? Like for me, I could just easily open up my phone and listen to music on there. But there's something about having a physical representation, a physical embodiment of the music that you love, or the games, the shows that you love, with the cool box art and little lyric pages inside. It's just fun.
If you have any questions, comments, or story ideas, make sure to email RaidersTVNews@gmail.com or DM Raiders TV News on Instagram. Thanks for watching, Raiders!